Vanakkam, Namaste, good evening. Welcome again to another episode of E.F.I's India Environment Quiz. Let this camouflage t shirt and the dark background not give you an idea that I've been abducted by some foreign forces. Definitely not. We come to you hosting this quiz today from the national capital, and we bring to you questions on India's environment. And as I told you yesterday's quiz, we have to keep it low. And I cannot raise my voice beyond this for the simple reason that we don't want to disturb people outside. As I mentioned, don't get carried away by my camouflage t-shirt and the dark background. We're just playing India environment quiz, and we put together some wonderful questions, and we invite all of you for this quiz. Just give me we don't have the luxury of home that we have to do this with a few hindrances like that. Sorry about that. Now what we're going to do today is we're going to play a quiz which surrounds India's wildlife, habitat, and so many more, right? And thanks for the compliments on the t-shirt and more. We're going to play this quiz with questions on India's environment, and we start this quiz with the first question. Name the smallest otter species in the world. Name the smallest otter species in the world. We're asking you to name the smallest otter species in the world. We're asking you to name the smallest otter species in the world. Remember, we're playing the India environment quiz. And if we are asking you a question about the smallest, the largest, the highest, the tallest in the world, it would be an India related answer only. Name the smallest otter species in the world. Name the smallest otter species in the world. And I welcome Abhinaya ma'am, Kavimalar ma'am, and many others on YouTube. And as always, Anuradha ma'am and all others on Facebook, Aparna ma'am and others, and each and every single one of you on Instagram who joins us for this quiz. And I've asked you question one: name the smallest otter species in the world. Today, we also have a guest host, and I'm going to get confirmation from Sri Krishna, who happens to be our producer for the show. Sri Krishna, if you give me two thumbs up, Malini would be joining us for the quiz as the guest host, right? And once Sri Krishna gives me that confirmation, we'll also look for Malini's request to be my co-host, to come share video screen with me. There's so many interesting conversations that we're going to have with Malini. Yes, I have a request from Malini. Malini, would you mind giving me a request one more time? And Anita underscore SRKM, unfortunately, I can't bring you on video. So I'm going to request you not to send me that request again. Malini, if you are here, kindly please do send us the request and I would accept. Yes, I can see that here. I've also sent a request. Malini Hari is our guest host for today, and I have extremely interesting stories about this young woman and how she volunteered. Yeah, there she is. Hi, Mali. Welcome to the quiz.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too.
Yes. If you're on YouTube and Facebook, here on Instagram, I have the option of bringing in a guest host who shares screen with me. And the young lady who's sharing screen with me today on Instagram is Malini Hari, who happens to be one of the earliest E.F.I volunteers. Today, she's grown multifold in terms of her professional achievements, her academic accomplishments, and more. She's a, what do we call you, a junior research fellow, am I right, or a doctoral research junior research fellow?
A research scholar.
Okay, research scholar. She's a research scholar in in biotechnology, am I right? Yes. So she majored in zoology. Now she's doing her research in biotech, and we will converse with Malini a lot more. But I'm going to ask you question two, and she will take over from question 11 to 15. Here is question two, part of E.F.I's India Environment Quiz, and we bring this to you from the national capital. Here is the second question: what is the dung of an otter called? And what makes it special or unique? What is the excreta, the dung of an otter called? What makes it special or unique? We're asking you, what is the dung of an otter called, and what makes it special or unique? See, there's nothing that gets wasted, right? And there's such a wonderful question that's been put together. And what is so special or unique about this? When you find the answer, you would be you would be thrilled. I don't know what else to say. I'm not extremely a fan of such questions, but what is the dung of an otter called, and what makes it special or unique? And now, what makes today's quiz special or unique is Malini Hari. And Malini, tell them how you
Yes.
started volunteering with E.F.I, about your school and about E.F.I.
So yeah, I was part of the school called Swiss Kalalia, and we met Arun when I was in class 9. He gave us a school orientation program, after which a bunch of us, we went, spoke to him, and landed at Gindi National Park. Interestingly, I think today's World Crocodile Day as
Yes.
well. So I was right at the crocodile enclosure volunteering there at the Sundays. So we used to stop people from bothering animals and distracting other people through something else. We just talk about the animal so that the animals are not disturbed by them, because they used to throw stones at them or any food materials that gets inside. So that's how my journey with E.F.I started, and then we moved on to lake cleanups and so on.
What,
I
how
think
many
some
years it's been a wonderful journey, hasn't it? At least for me and EFI, to have somebody like Malini. If you're on YouTube and Facebook, if you I'm sure you heard her speak, but you can't see her, unfortunately. Sorry, we can't bring her as a guest host on multiple platforms at the same time. She is one of the earliest EFI volunteers, and it's young students like her who gave EFI the confidence that we could step out, volunteer, and grow multifold in every way that we have grown in the last 14 years. Thank you, Malini. And by bringing you as a guest host, it's just a humble tribute to all that you have done for India's environment, not for EFI.
It's been quite long that I've done anything for E.F.I, so I'm so glad to be back here.
That's wonderful. Here is question three. Here is question three. We're asking you question three. What can be said about the fur of an otter? What can be said about the fur of an otter? Otter's fur, what is so special about it? What can be said about the fur of an otter? We're asking you question 3 part of EFI's India environment quiz. What can be said about the fur of an otter? On YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, if you've joined us on the India Environment Quiz, today's quiz is special because we have a guest host. And the reason why we chose Malini Hari as a guest host is, at any age, one can start volunteering for India's environment. And it doesn't have to be through EFI, it can be through any platform, or it can be at an individual capacity. And one can sustain living a planet friendly life. And look at people like Malini who've gone ahead, made career choices in the field of science, and they're doing well for themselves, and they're accomplishing something for the country at large. That's exactly where, if you're a parent who's watching, or if you're a young student, in this quiz here on Instagram, we have so many zoologists on a daily basis who keep answering multiple questions. Tushara, I'm not too sure if you're a zoologist, but you are somebody in the science field. And I don't know if Tushara is part of the quiz today. Her answers have always been about her Tushara's answers have always been on the research front and more. And we have Sabira, who's also a zoologist. So look at this. Like, there are so many varied streams that one can think about, and how we can make progress. We've asked you question 3. What is so special about the fur of an otter? What is so special about the fur of an otter? And I'm quickly checking for answers. Yes, multiple answers here. It was asked on EFI's Twitter today, says Abhinaya. Thank you for that. We are posting these questions to just check how many of our social media platforms you're all checking and whether you have the answers or not. So here is question number 4. Here is question number 4. How long can a river otter hold its breath underwater? How long can a river otter hold its breath underwater? We're asking you question 4. How long can a river otter hold its breath or stay underwater? You know, most of these animals, whether it's the sea turtles, all of them take deep breaths and then plunge underwater, and then they have to come back to the surface to breathe. It's not like they breathe when they're underwater. So we are asking you a question: how long can river otter hold its breath or stay underwater? Malini, have you seen otters in the wild, or have you treated an otter?
No, not really. I think I have spotted them in a zoo. Probably that's the maximum. I think interestingly, as you mentioned about turtles, I think they are the longest. I mean, they can hold their breath for the longest duration underwater. I think it's close to 7 or 8 hours.
Yeah, wow, that's wonderful, isn't it? When you talk about the olive ridley sea turtles, they tell you they go underwater for 40 minutes. They have to come back every 40 minutes. Now we learn more that hours together, 7 to 8 hours together, some of the turtles could stay underwater. And as I speak, Tushara, Srimahi, Chandini, so many wonderful young women have joined this quiz, especially if I have to speak about Chandini and all. Dedicated India environment volunteer is how I would describe her. Tushara, as I mentioned already, through several quiz, has given us some interesting answers, has shared extra bit of information. A lot of interesting people joining in today's quiz. If you're just joining us on YouTube, Facebook, and here on EFI, this is EFI Quiz, and I have a guest host who happens to be one of EFI's earliest volunteers, who today is a research fellow. Correct? My memory is fading, and I'm going to keep asking you that again and again. Here is question 5. Listen to this carefully. A group of resting otters are referred to as a group of resting otters are referred to as. Remember, otters rest on land and in water. So they're called by different names based on where they're resting. A group of resting otters are referred to as. A group of resting otters are referred to as. In water, what are they called when they rest? In land, what are they called when they rest? Together. Please remember, a group of resting otters are called. What are they called when they rest in water? What are they called when they rest as a group on land? It's some crazy weather here where we are right now. The temperatures soared today, but the only joy was that we were going to work on the historic stepwell in Alwar, Rajasthan. I'm sure many of you did check out the images or read about this stepwell that I mentioned yesterday. The Musi Rani Sagar, the Musi Rani Sagar, the Aravali Hills of Haryana, Rajasthan, and further down is the world's oldest tabletop mountain range. And part of this hill, Alwar town, has a historic palace. And somewhere in the elevation on that hill, our forefathers, our ancestors, have developed a beautiful, intricate water management system. An upper reservoir called Kishan Kund, from where water flows down to another small little sedimentary tank called Hathi Kund, from where the water drains into a widespread 2 acre artistically designed water holding reservoir called the Musi Rani Sagar. Check the image, and we at EFI have got a wonderful opportunity to work on this entire system from Kishan Kund to Musi Rani Sagar and revive it. 5 months from now, we would proudly present to you that restoration story. And through this 5 months, we will bore you with this same fact again and again. So bear with us. Here is question 6. Here is question 6. Otters are keystone species. Probably Malini will tell us what keystone species are after I finish the question. Otters are keystone species. The presence of a healthy otter population indicates what? Otters are a keystone species. The presence of a healthy otter population indicates what? Please remember, we are not asking about otter population in the zoo. We are asking about otter population in the wild. If in a wild jungle, in a riverine system, you spot a healthy otter population, what does that indicate? And Malini, may I ask you what keystone species refers to?
keystone species are the vital set of species which determine the ecological balance in a particular ecosystem. So, if you take the water bodies, the presence of otters, fishes, and then we call certain tiny organisms called the planktons. So, all these organisms at different levels determine the stability and the healthy system of the water body itself. So,
Have you
yeah.
zoologists come up with a terminology for destructive humans in the biological system?
Yeah, I think no, not yet. It's
Okay.
time we do.
Probably your research could give us that nomenclature that might even win you a Nobel Prize. We don't know. If there's a Nobel for zoology, botany, science, I don't know.
I think if we do that to humans, they wouldn't give us a Nobel Prize.
The otters would. The otters would is what Malini is saying. We're asking you question 6. Otters are keystone species. The presence of a healthy otter population indicates what? Please remember, we are asking you presence of a healthy otter population in the wild, in the river system indicates what? And we have Kavi Malar ma'am who's given us a detailed explanation. Sea otters are a keystone species, which means that they can exert top down pressure via predation on sea urchins, which are grazers upon kelp. There's a beautiful documentary by Sir Attenborough, and one of the episodes talks about the kelp forest off the coast of California and how the kelp forest is important for the marine ecosystem, and how the sea urchins or sea urchins, however you guys call it, actually causes major damage to the kelp forest. And here, Kavi Malar ma'am has given us more information on how sea otters help keep a check on the urchin's population. Interesting, isn't it? So here we are
Yeah.
playing this quiz, India Environment Quiz, on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and today we have a special guest host limited only to Instagram. We didn't choose it that way. That tool only allows us to bring a guest host. We don't know how to bring a guest host on other platforms. Here is question 7. And question 7, how many otter species are found in India? How many otter species are found in India? Again, please refer to wild otter species found in India. How many otter species are found in India? That I'm looking at multiple platforms, and we are also conversing with Malini. That door is open and I'm keeping my voice low. I'm not even reading the rest of your comments, but many of you are typing a lot of interesting information. I really feel bad that I'm missing out on so many of them, but please keep sending them in. Here, Srinidhi Ravichandran says maintain coastal erosion. I think she's still talking about the previous question. We've moved on to the next question, but thank you for that information. How many otter species are
I
found
think
in India?
I think we are talking about the ones only in India.
Yeah. Shakti has given an answer. We'll have to see whether Shakti is right, Archana is right, or Surbi is right. Prithvi, welcome to the quiz. Prithvi, welcome to the quiz. Just wait for 3 more questions and then Malini would take over. Malini would run the quiz from question 11 to 15. She would ask the question 2 times, after which I shall repeat it for you here on Facebook and YouTube. She would ask the question 2 times on Instagram, after which I would repeat it for you on Facebook and YouTube. Here is question 8. Here is question 8. Name the most fearless animal in the world. For real, this is okay. This is not something humans would claim. Name the most fearless animal in the world. Name the most fearless animal in the world. I had a small cut in my thumb, so typing fast is difficult. Yes, human problems always. Yes, but
Tiger.
despite that injury, that you are playing this quiz means a lot to us. And Sabira is the not journalist, the zoologist whom I keep referring to. Name the most fearless animal in the world. Ilongovan says tiger. Should be otter, says Shakti. Is it the otter, Shakti? Do you think we are that easy going to give away such an answer? I'm waiting for Archana has an answer. We'll see if that answer is right. Kavi Malar, ma'am, is on a roll. She's given us another big explanation. India is home to 3 out of the 13 species of the otter found worldwide. She's even given the names. And Srinidhi has already moved on to the next question. And here on Facebook, on all the pages where we are, we already are seeing multiple answers. Aparna ma'am, Anuradha ma'am, many others. Thank you for joining. Here is question 9. Here is question 9. We're playing quiz on Otter. Yes, Shakti. Avi Rajan says buffalo. How I
Yeah.
really wish. I think he's from Muduchur. You know, Muduchur to Tambaram, there used to be this tiny road. Now it's quite wider, but still extremely narrow. On this road, on this particular road, I'm talking about the 90s, when I was a school going kid, there used to be these water buffaloes that would just sit on the road, and a speeding bus would have to stop in front of these buffaloes and keep honking for at least 10 minutes before one of them even moved its tail. So even if your answer is wrong, I will go with you. Buffaloes are the most fearless animals in the world. Let's wait for the correct answer. Here is question 9. Here is question 9. Similar in appearance to skunks, do honey badgers also produce a stinky smell? Similar to appearance to skunks, similar in appearance to skunks, do honey badgers also produce a stinky smell? Mali, when did you know that there were animals called skunks, and how did you know? Which age and how?
Oh, hardly. I yeah, there are animals named skunks, and I haven't seen them either. I think today's kids might know better due to the YouTube videos and all that. I got to know probably when I was in class 8.
I think for
So I
me, the
much behind I think the generation, I would say, because I can see kids around who could name like every variety
yeah.
in this. So that's fantastic.
See, when I just asked her a question, what is her first memory of a skunk or when she heard of it, she went full academic. I will tell you my version of the story. Tom and Jerry, and when Tom tries to woo a female cat, is where a skunk walks in, he gets scared and run off. I still thought skunks were cats. I don't even know what they are now, because in India, I don't think we have skunks. Do we have skunks in India? So,
I don't think.
so I've always known of skunks only through cartoons, and that's my memory, and that's why I'm not a research fellow and she is. Here is my last question, question 10, after which I hand it over to Malini Hari. She will ask the question 2 times on Instagram, and I will ask it here for you on Facebook and YouTube. Question 10. Which genus does the honey badger belong to? Which genus does the honey badger belong to? And our producer Sri Krishna says, nope, we don't have skunks in India. So we're asking you, which genus do honey badgers belong to? Summer day, thoroughly packed 21G from Tambaram to Mylapore. There are multiple skunks, including us. So don't worry, we don't need extra other skunks. So we are asking
Yeah,
you, question 10, which genus does the honey badger belong to? Which genus does the honey badger belong to? Kavi Malar ma'am. But if the honey badger is frightened or threatened, it drops a stink bomb rather than spraying the odor like its skunk relative does. Look at that bit of information. Shri Krishna, I'm going to request you, sir, one day probably we might have to somehow get in touch with Kavi Malar Saravanan ma'am, who's a regular on YouTube. And ma'am, if you're okay with it, we're going to invite you to be our guest host sometime soon, where you can give us more information on every question that we're asking. Let's just make this quiz tad bit more interesting with more faces, more stories from each of you. I'm asking my last question, which is, which genus does the honey badger belong to? Malini, if you're ready, question
yes,
11 is yours.
Okay, so question 11. The human skin is about 2 millimeters thick. So how thick is the skin of a honey badger? I repeat, the human skin is about 2 millimeters thick. How thick is the skin of a honey badger?
Malini, our guest host for today's quiz, has asked the question. The question is, the human skin is about 2 millimeters thick. How thick is the skin of a honey badger? Somebody typed saying today's quiz is all about otters. See how Sri Krishna played you all around. At one particular question, he changed the flow, the gear, and he's pushed us towards honey badger. And if the next question is something related to some other animal, don't answer honey badger. He might have changed the flow further. We never know. The question we are asking you, Malini and I, part of today's quiz, human skin is about 2 millimeters thick. How thick is the skin of a honey badger?
Interesting. We have some relevant answers from Archana, Shakti, Sabira.
I'm just quickly searching for what a honey badger is called in Tamil.
Okay.
What
in
is
Tamil.
what is
They're
a
also
honey?
called Ratel something. That's how they. I don't know the pronunciation exactly, but
Sri Krishna might have the answer.
they're
Honey.
part of the family. Yes, I think Wolverines also come under the
Okay.
family.
In Tamil, a honey badger is called Ten Valai Karadi.
Okay.
And let's, for the sake of Vinay Surabhi and others, let's also search for it in Gujarati. In Gujarati, a honey badger is called. I can't read Gujarati. There's a Gujarati name, but I'm not able to read Gujarati. Vinay Surbi, probably I'm going to leave that responsibility with you. Can you give us the Gujarati name? And somebody knows the name of honey badger in Bengali, in Marathi, please type it out. Let's all read it. In Tamil, it's called Ten Valai Karadi. And Chandini, if you're still part of this quiz, give us the Telugu name of the honey badger. And Malini, question 12, all yours.
Okay. So, where can honey badgers be found in India?
Do you want to repeat it once more?
Yeah. Where can honey badgers be found in India? If you could give us the state name, probably that is the easiest clue.
Malini is asking you, if you're on YouTube and Facebook, Malini is asking you, where in India, which state in India would you find the most number of honey badgers in the wild? Which state in India would you find the most number of honey badgers in the wild?
Oh, we have an answer
Yes.
from Avi. Any other states?
I'm waiting for answers on YouTube. Yes, I have answers coming in on YouTube. I'm also waiting for this translation or the local names, vernacular names of honey badger. Janvi Sundar, welcome to the quiz. Do we know what a honey badger is called in? Honey badgers are rare, are not so rare in India. They've been sighted in dry savanna woodland forests of a certain state. Kavi Malar ma'am has given the answer. I'm not going to read it out. Shuttered World, welcome to the quiz. Anybody knows what a honey badger is called in Kannada or in Marathi, in Bengali? In Tamil, we found the name Ten Valai Karadi. Yeah, I've never heard anybody ever mention that to me. Google says, okay, Abhinaya has given an answer and she's put the blame on Google. Question 13 from you, Malini.
How many species of mongoose are found in India? So here is the twist. I think Sri Krishna moved from honey badger to a mongoose now. So how many species of mongoose are found in India?
We're asking you, mongoose, the mongoose species, how many of them are found in India? Mongoose, how many mongoose species is found in India? Mad, Surbi, Vinay Surbi has given an answer. The honey badger in Gujarati is called a mad. Interesting.
Okay.
Thank you for that. How many species of mongoose are found in India? Remember, we're playing India Environment Quiz. We've gone through questions on Madpudo. Thanks for that. We have asked you questions on otters. We have asked you questions on honey badgers. And now we're moving to mongoose. How many species of mongoose are found in India? I see a lot of answers coming in on Facebook.
Yes, I think it's the most common Indian grey mongoose. And also a couple of others. I think ruddy mongoose, striped neck mongoose, a small mongoose, and I forgot the other name. I think a brown mongoose. Yes.
Brown mongoose, and the only thing, Indian grey mongoose. Did you say grey mongoose?
Yeah, grey mongoose.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yes, and there is competition for all the information that you're giving you from Kavi Malar ma'am on YouTube. India's home to 6 species of mongoose, and she's named almost all of them. And you've
Great.
named all of them too. And it's matching. It's like I matched the following. It's a funny
Yeah.
game I'm playing between Instagram and YouTube.
Okay.
Question 14. Question 14 from you.
Before we go to the 14, yeah, we have a Kannada name by Sri Krishna. I don't know what it's called. Tara Karadi. Okay.
Tharakkaradi. Isn't that interesting? Marakkaradi irukum pol irukku. So they're like Tharakkaradi. Interesting.
Yes, thank you, Sabira. This crab eating mongoose. Interesting. Yes. Okay, moving on to question 14. Which state in India has its state animal as the grey mongoose? Which state in India has its state animal as the grey mongoose?
To drop a hint, which state or union territory in India, which state or union territory in India has its representative animal as the grey mongoose? We're playing the India environment quiz from otters to honey badgers. Now we are with the mongoose. We are asking you which union territory or state in India has its representative animal as the grey mongoose. The grey mongoose is the state or the representative animal of which state or union territory in India? Shakti has an answer. When was the last time you saw a mongoose, Malini, in the wild?
I can't remember. I'm sorry.
Your UG campus, PG campus?
Not really. I think, as you rightly said, we were, maybe they got scared by us that we could not spot them at all.
Both Malini and I go back to this institution called Madras Christian College. Is there anybody from Madras Christian College who's playing the quiz with us? Give us 2 thumbs up. We will spot you on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. And
yeah, information Arun was much senior to me at MCC.
Yeah. Way senior. She's probably 10, 12 years younger to me. I don't even know. But we go back to the Gemini Ganesan, Mr. Gemini Ganesan, Sir Radha Krishnan, Arun Krishnamurti, Malini, all of us went to the same college. That's all. But we're all not the same age. We're all not the same age.
All right. Can I go to the last question for the day?
Yes, please.
Okay. What makes the mongoose immune to the venom from a snake bite? Interesting. What makes the mongoose immune to the venom from a snake bite?
We're asking you the last question for today's quiz. How is the mongoose immune to the snake bite? The first cartoon imagery in our head, comic books would be mongoose versus snake fight, right? The mongoose is immune to the snake bite. We're asking you how? What makes the mongoose immune? What makes the mongoose immune to a snake bite?
Interestingly, there are some 4 mammal species which are immune to snake bites. One is the mongoose, the other one are the honey badgers, then the hedgehogs, and the pigs.
Pigs?
Yes.
Like swine pigs?
I think so.
Wow. Their modified receptors. Nirmala Padmanabhan, welcome to the quiz. We've asked question 15, the ninja moves, say Srinidhi Ravichandran. We're asking you, ninja moves helps the mongoose prevent a snake bite. Despite the moves, if the snake bites the mongoose is immune. How so? And Kavi Malar ma'am has given the answer. Mongoose are one of at least 4 known, mammalian taxa with mutations in the nicotinic acetylcholine receptor that protect against snake venom. So there is a nicotinic acetylcholine receptor which protects mongoose from snake venom, is what Kavi Malar ma'am says. We'll have to wait and watch.
So these animals by birth, they have a mutant variety of the receptor. So when the venom, which is a toxin, a neurotoxin, cannot go bind to the receptor in the body, and hence the effect of the venom is not there in these animals. Whereas in any other animal, the receptor, the chemical binds to the receptor and hence the venom acts. So that's how it works.
Survival of the fittest, evolution, how each species or within the species, also based on geography, how there are variations from one to the other, nature at her best. We leave it
Yeah,
there and sorry, yeah, please.
Wanted to add on, yeah, this receptor, I think even humans are not immune to either a snake bite and also the current pandemic causing virus, which also works around the same receptor. So, yeah.
How unfortunate. We think we are, just because we talk loud and walk straight, we claim to be a superior species, which we are not. Here are questions in reverse, and Malini would give you the 5 answers for the questions that she's asked. Malini, question 15 and the answer, please.
Yes, it is because of the special acetylcholine receptors that are present, and hence they are immune to the venom. And then the state animal.
No, 1 minute. I'll just repeat it for Facebook, YouTube, because they can't see you. So Malini asked you a question: what makes the mongoose immune to the venom from a snake bite? It is a specialized acetylcholine receptor that's present in the mongoose, which makes them immune to the venom of the snake. The snake's venom does not act on the mongoose's body because of the specialized acetylcholine receptor. Question 14 and its answer, please.
14. Which state in India has its state animal as the grey mongoose? It is Chandigarh. So, yeah, state/union territory, and it's Chandigarh.
Chandigarh is the union territory which celebrates the grey mongoose as its representative animal. So we don't leave behind any animal. It's just not the tigers and the lions. The grey mongoose is the representative animal of India's most planned city. Question 13 and answer, please.
How many species of mongoose do we have in India? And the answer is 6. As we were listing, yeah, it is 6.
She asked you a question: how many species of mongoose are found in India? 6 species of mongoose. They named them also. Malini as guest host and Kavi Malar ma'am both named all the 6 species, and Sabira added one more name to it if I'm not wrong. So I'm sorry, or she added the 6th name if I'm not wrong. So 6 species and they've named them. Here is question 12 and its answer.
Where do we find honey badgers in India? And those are the forests of Karnataka. Many people, I think, got it right. Those are the forests of Karnataka where we find the honey badgers in India.
The Tarakkaradi, that's what it's called in Kannada. So that's how the name we will call it going forward. Tarakkaradi is largely found in the forests of Karnataka. If you're wondering what a Tarakkaradi is, Google it. It's a honey badger.
Okay, question 11. The human skin is 2 millimeter thick, and how thick is the skin of honey badger? And the answer is 6 millimeter. And yeah, that is mainly because they use it for predatory actions. They go fight against their conspecifics, and yes, because of that, it is 6 millimeter.
Super. Again, look in evolutionary development, how the honey badger's skin is 6 millimeters thick. We asked you a question: how thick is the honey badger's skin? And why is it important? Our skin is only 2 millimeters. And if somebody is going to call you thick skinned, tell them not so much as a honey badger. Malini, it's been wonderful. Stay along, don't sign off yet. And I'm going to quickly take your question 10 to 1. Which genus does the honey badger belong to? The Mellivora genus. The Mellivora genus is the genus that the honey badger belongs to. Similar in appearance to skunks, do honey badgers also produce a stinky smell? Kavi Malar ma'am gave a beautiful explanation. Yes, they don't spray it. Honey badgers also give that stinky smell, but they don't spray it. Rather, they produce a stink bomb. Most of us did that in college against opponents, but here the honey badger does it in the wild for survival. So the honey badger produces a stink bomb. It doesn't spray like the skunk. Name the most fearless animal in the world. It is the honey badger. 6 mm thick skin, stink bomb. It's a loaded animal. Why wouldn't it be the fearless animal? It's the honey badger. How many otter species are found in India? 3 otter species are found in the wild in India: the Asian small clawed, the Eurasian, and the smooth coated. And the only time I've seen an otter for real in the wild is at Kabini, the tributary to Kaveri. When we were shooting a Kaveri documentary, Above the dam in the upstream, we spotted beautiful otters. I think Sri Krishna was also there, and he will give us two thumbs up when he realizes he was there. Otters are keystone species. The presence of a healthy otter population indicates healthy water body. A healthy water body. See, that's what we are planning now, to see if our lakes are clean. We're somehow trying to see if wild otters return to our lakes and ponds. A healthy water body, again, the marine story from the kelp forest to more. So it's not just related to freshwater bodies. And then we come to a group of resting otters are called, in water when they rest in a group, they're called a raft. Probably the English word usage also comes from that. On land they call romp. On in water they call raft. On land they call romp. How long can the river otter hold its breath underwater? 8 good long minutes. This animal could swim underwater or hunt and do everything and still hold its breath. That takes some stamina, doesn't it? What can be said about the fur of an otter? Mammal with thickest fur. Mammal with thickest fur have up to 1 million hair per square inch. Mammal with thickest fur have up to 1 million hair per square inch. Guess what? If there could be a joke on otters, in the otter world, guess who's the richest otter? It would be the barber, because they have 1 million hair per square inch. If you ran a salon in the otter world, you would be the richest otter ever. It traps air and it helps them float, right? And question 2, what is the dung of an otter called, and what makes it special or unique? You know what the dung of an otter is called? It's called a spraint. It's called a spraint, and it has a pleasant smell. So if you want good aroma at home, get an otter to poop indoors, and it gives you a good pleasant smell. And host, guess after that. Here is the first question that we asked you: the smallest otter species in the world. It is the Asian small clawed otter. Otter, honey badgers, so much more that we've learned today, part of today's quiz. We're really grateful to each and every single one of you. Abhinaya ma'am, Kavi Malar ma'am. Kavi Malar ma'am says, I'm a 15-year-old girl, and you deserve all our respect for all the information that you're throwing at us, ma'am. So we'd still call you ma'am only. Age is just a number. And as Malini and I just realized, we both went to the same college. Age is just a number. And to everybody else, Srinidhi, Ravichandran, and all of you who joined us on YouTube, thank you for playing this quiz with us. We come to you from Madhya Pradesh tomorrow for this quiz. Do join us. And until then, we end the broadcast here on YouTube. Thank you. Bye bye. Jai Hind. To all of you on Facebook,